You've probably guessed by now that I'm not a big fan of King Charles. I don't like his politics. I don't like the way he does things. I've always thought that if a man is going to be the head of something or a leader, he has to be an alpha male type. Something like Donald Trump, for example. And I've said it before, I think Princess Anne is a far better alpha male than he ever will be, and she'd make a better monarch, but that's for the birds now, I guess. However, saying all that, I'm not a big fan of Charlie Chuck, but I am of the monarchy, because they are a far better version of heads of state. Now, if we didn't have monarchy, Rishi Sunak and his wife would be a head of state. His wife has non-dom status. Rishi Sunak has a green card for the United States. And these two people who have absolutely zero in common with British culture would be our heads of state. Can you imagine that? So this is why it's important to have a family like this who costs everyone the equivalent of £1.29 a year is good for British politics and history, not to mention the continuation of our culture. And for King Charles to meddle with the coronation, it's just wrong. David Starkey was absolutely right. It's been such a way for such a time for a reason. It is a traditional Christian British ceremony and should remain so. After all, our culture here and our traditions, they're being eroded. They're being eroded by people who hate us as a people, who hate us as an island, and who hate us because of what we've done in history. And if people like Narendra Kaur, Ash Sarkar, Dr. Shola Moss, Yasmin Ali Bai Brown, and other anti-European, anti-British, anti-monarchists, race baiters really dislike our idea of monarchy, then I am all for it, despite the fact that I could have people like Charles sitting on the throne. Remember, Charles isn't going to be king forever. But be it as it may, he is my king, whether I like it or not. And the monarchy as a system does a lot for Britain. Now, many of you may think that these people are, well, I know they are pampered and they have a lot of privileges. King Charles has powers greater than any other on earth, but he chooses not to use them. He dare not use them. That's because we have Parliament. Now, like I said, you may think the royal family are living the happy high life. However, I disagree, because they're not like us. They don't think like us. They haven't been brought up like us. These people have been institutionalized. They can't go out shopping. They can't go and socialize like normal people. Their whole lives revolve around tradition and knowledge of the Constitution since birth. So really, these people live in a gilded cage. Would you want to be one of them? I wouldn't. After all, look what it did to Diana. Look what it's done to Harry. Because you're going to be in the papers 24/7. You're going to be scrutinised 24/7. And as Meghan Markle found out, being a member of the royal family does involve work. It's nothing like being a Disney princess, nothing whatsoever. Even they have a hierarchy. William can't just walk in and speak to his dad, nor can anyone else in the family for that matter. They have to make an appointment, and they always have to bow to him when they meet him. They did the same with the Queen. Imagine doing that to your own grandfather, your father or grandmother. It's all about duty, service and tradition. And yes, there is a hierarchy. So sure, you might be worth billions, you have a crown, you have a title, bodyguards, but all that comes at a very high personal mental cost, I think. And of course, there's the pomp, pageantry, ceremony, the guards, and the prestige that leaders all over the world, apart from stupid bungalow Joe Biden, who hates Britain for some reason because he's allegedly Irish. Well, he thinks he's Irish anyway, because the last Irish Biden left Ireland in the 1840s. But if Britain wants something done and a world leader is being stubborn, all they have to do is offer an invite to Buckingham Palace to see the Queen or the King and have the full spread put on for them, and it always works. So for an institution that costs us around £1.20, £1.30 a year, I think it's value for money. Far better value than our politicians, who in my view have far more privilege. If they fuck up, they don't get sacked, they get promoted. If they don't pay their taxes, oh, it's a silly mistake, I won't do it again. Anyone else would be in jail. And they have parliamentary privilege when they can say absolutely anything in Parliament, in the House of Commons chamber, without fear or favour. Whereas the royal family, they have to be careful what they say, otherwise they get torn to shreds. So thank you, lucky stars, we have a monarchy. Otherwise, it would be Rishi Sunak and his wife who would be our heads of state, and who our service personnel would have to give their oath of allegiance to, and that would have been wrong, so wrong. So there we go. I don't agree with Charles as king, but he is my king. I accept that. I won't be giving him my oath of allegiance, but I am a firm supporter of monarchy. I will be watching the coronation later today because it's a British thing. It's a British tradition that doesn't happen often. And when Charles does utter the words, the defender of all faiths, my heart will sink. But remember, he's not going to be king forever. And that's that. That's my opinion. That's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're watching the coronation, I hope you enjoy it. And there we go. Until the next time, have a great weekend. And Roger Trout.